Welcome back, everyone, to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. We are here in the Ignite podcast studio, and I have a very special guest with me today, Helena Richardson with HRichnetworks. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for the invite.
Oh, thank you for coming. The second I saw you when I walked out of my office, I was like, oh, I'm going to love her already. The bright blazer, the bright matching boots. You guys can't see them, but she's got matching cowboy boots on, and they look great. I love them. So tell me about yourself and what you do.
Well, as you mentioned, my name is Helena Richardson. I'm a former NASA IT specialist, and I founded HRichnetworks during the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina.
Well, I did not know the NASA part. That's really cool. What was it like working for NASA?
It was a job.
Yeah.
There was a lot of work that I had to do that the other guys didn't want to do.
Yeah.
So, but I love it because now I can do those things in my own business.
Yes. It's always different working for yourself, and you have a lot more passion, I feel like, when you're doing a job for yourself because you care about your customers.
Yes.
Tell me, what's a change you've seen in your industry that has really made a difference in what you do?
Well, I don't really think when I started out, there was not the internet, so things have really changed as far as communicating, being able to reach your family everywhere. Yeah. I remember when Hurricane Katrina hit and all the networks were down, we couldn't reach our family. So all we were able to see was what was on the news. And so it was very hard on us because we had no way of communicating because all of the networks were down.
It almost feels like you're blind at that point.
We were blind, yes.
Just listening. And I hate to say it this way because I'm actually a broadcast journalism major from VCU. But I've noticed that media today, it's kind of like hearsay. Mm-hmm. So you either, if you don't know what's going on and you have no connection to the outside world and you're only watching the media, I mean, that's just terrifying.
It is terrifying. And I remember one of my Sunday students calling, and he had a hearing aid. Oh. So can you imagine the impact of being in darkness and also having a hearing aid, not being able to hear? And he was just kept saying, can you help us? Can you help us? Because he was stuck down in New Orleans.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
During that time.
That's awful.
Yes.
So you've really seen a shift from just the technology in itself, being able to communicate with people. Mm-hmm. What are some things like services that you all provide?
So we do app development. My main thing, because my background is in software development, I graduated from Loyola University in New Orleans with a bachelor's degree in, I'm about to say cybersecurity. That's one of the areas that I was working. Though. Yeah. But I graduated with computer information system, and currently I'm working on my master's in marketing because I think it's an intricate part in my business, and that's something that I need to not just learn for myself, but also to help with my clients to make my business better. So as far as seeing the shift and the way things have really changed, it has changed, but a lot of it's the same. Yeah. When I talk to people and we talk about the way things look, I mean, the names change. It's so unique, the way the names and the way that they change the names.
They get
and
more
everything.
Complicated and fancier.
It's fancy, right? But it's really the same. Hey, yeah, granted, I did start out with punch cards, but now, even with having the drop down and, being able to, tell AI, hey, build me a website.
Yeah.
Things have really changed, but I think with technology, it's beginning to make us a little dumb.
I have to agree.
And I think we need to be able to use our brain more than what, AI and all of this technology is great, but Go back and start looking at some of those movies that talked about what
I
AI have
agree.
done. I was just talking recently about, what was it? Wally.
Oh, yes, I remember
Remember
Wally.
Wally?
Yes.
And all of the people were on this ship
Yeah.
and they had gotten so overweight, right? Because they were not working out and technology, everything, feeding me, eating, clothing me and everything, that they weren't getting out and exercising and everything. And, we really don't want that to happen. And I think about that in technology because as an IT professional, we didn't get up out of our seats. We just
That's true.
stayed there until we completed our task. So we need to
And
get
you guys
out.
had long days too.
Long days. So get out. Smell the roses. Let the sun beam on your face, And when you talked about my bright colors, that's why I wear them, because it gives me energy.
Yeah. I was actually talking to Barry. So Barry's our CEO, and he gave me the opportunity to go to Liberty University for their CEO summit this year.
Wonderful.
It was amazing. Best experience.
Wow.
Anybody, like for you as a business owner and anybody else that's a business owner or a CEO out there, highly, highly suggest going. It was a wonderful experience and you learned so much. But one of the segments, the sessions, was on AI. And as I was listening to it, because I use AI for work too. What I've learned, everybody does now. But what I learned about using AI, number one, it's not going to replace me. Number two, I'm going to evolve with it so that I keep being better than it. Because what I do is I actually manipulate my AI to speak like me, to remember certain information. Like if I know that this is my 100% information on the Ignite program, and it's always going to stay the same. This is our mission statement. These are our goals. I have AI remember that so that the next time I send a general email or a marketing email or anything like that, it has it saved and adds in any additional information that I add to it.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like people get so scared about like, oh, it's going to make us dumber. It is if you let it. Mm-hmm. If you let it, it will. But if you stay on top of it and you expand the capacity that you're able to learn and engage with new information, I think you're going to be fine.
Yes.
As long as you're like you.
And that's key. That's key. That's what we should do, because I use it too. And the reason why I test out a lot of technology is because a lot of folks ask questions about it. Now, I can't test everything because there's just so many different platforms, right? But if it's one of my customers, I want to learn more about it so that I can give them some input and some of my experiences with it. Just like you, I'll use it the same way, but I'm teaching it because it's not going to replace me. It's not going to replace me. And when we talk about technology, if you recall, well, I'm not sure, but I know for myself, I've seen where, we had the ladies or the men that work the cash registers, right? But then it got to the point where we no longer need them. Now we could check out ourselves, right? So, technology, in a sense, is really helping us in so many ways, but we don't want it to get to the point where it's going to handicap us.
Yeah, I do have to agree with that, especially when you pointed out the not working out part. That is frightening. People don't understand how important movement is for their body.
Yes.
And that's one thing that my parents always instilled in us growing up. If you don't move, you're not a healthy person. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying like you got to go and like do weights and like buff yourself out. No, walking for an hour a day, great exercise.
Absolutely.
Great for your mind too. You get to think about stuff.
Yes.
Yes. So I definitely, I'm with you. Even though you're an IT person, movement is important. Being outside is important. But what is a big project that you've worked on that you're super proud of, or it's changed the way you work?
So a year ago, well, not a year ago, but a couple of years ago, I gotten a project through the city. And it was great because I ended up getting about 12 clients in one session. And being a solopreneur, I had to hire, independent contractors to work with me because I did not have the staff or the capacity to help in those areas. But all startup businesses, was able to build websites for them, get them their business up online, because as Bill Gates say, if your business is not on the internet, you're out of business.
Yeah.
And that is key, because with technology constantly changing, everything is via the internet, right?
Yep.
So it changed my perspective, because I always have a passion about helping small businesses. I guess too, I'm about community. So helping them and seeing the expression on their face to say, "Oh wow, I didn't know that I can do that. I didn't know I could be sleeping and have my customers buy my products online." Or use another platform to help them get the automation out on their business. So, just being able to see those things, it really brings joy to me, even if I gave more, because I think it's about value, right?
Yep.
It's about giving value to your customers. It's not about, it is about making money, but it's about thinking of them first.
Yeah. I noticed that a lot of, because we're the BBB, right? So we come across a lot of businesses. We have accredited businesses and non-accredited businesses that we can come in contact with. But overall, I've noticed that the ones that really care about their customers are always going above and beyond for them.
Absolutely.
Even if they complain or they leave a poor review, the good ones always come back and they're like, "I'm so sorry you had this experience. Let's try and figure out a way to mend this relationship, and hopefully we can do business better in the future."
Sure.
And I think that like, even as yourself being a business owner, going so above and beyond for your customers is so important. And for small businesses especially, because they struggle so much.
They do.
Oddly enough, they're such a big, important part of our economy.
Absolutely. And, one thing that I decided to offer in my business is those clients that sign up for web maintenance, I always give them that hour each month so that we can brainstorm. So what is it that you're doing in your business?
That's
What are
awesome.
some things that you've done this month? If we have to put together a calendar that's going to give them different contents or different tasks to do throughout that month, at least it's continuing to put more into their business. And so those are some of the things that I do. What's an hour?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And an hour of brainstorming produces so much work.
It does. It does.
I love that you do that. That's really amazing. I don't think anybody's like, "Oh, it's just an hour." No, an hour is really good for website maintenance.
Yes.
That's amazing.
But that's outside of their. I don't include that into their actual tasks that they send. Their requests that they send to me. This is outside of what they do. So if we start, like, say for instance, if you were my client and we started our contract today, then what's today, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Every Wednesday we'll
Feels
meet.
like Monday.
Absolutely. Every Wednesday we meet at 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
And we brainstorm for that time of the month. And, you let me know, hey, well, you know what? I did social media, but it's not working. Why aren't I getting any, recalls or anybody or, responding? Are you engaging?
Yeah.
Are you engaging? I always use the analogy of us moving here to Virginia. If we had never told anyone that we moved to Virginia, how would they know that we're here?
That's so true.
They have no idea.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I've had a few marketing companies that have come in here, and one of them, I asked them, I said, could I followed through? I said, how do you follow through with or help a company maintain with your marketing campaigns for them? Like, how do you help them follow through with the material and the service that you provided for them to make sure that they're getting in contact properly with their customers or their leads. And her response was, well, that's not really what we do. Mm-hmm. And I understand it from that certain perspective, but on the other side of it, it's kind of like what you just said. Like, you ask them questions. Are you responding? Are you engaging with your customer? How are you engaging with your customer? I think a really good marketer like yourself thinks about those things and takes into consideration that a small business probably doesn't know how to do that.
Right.
Like, you're giving them amazing material and information and services, but sometimes for them, it's like, this is outside of like what I know to do. So being able to follow through with them doing that is just top tier.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. So how can people get in contact with you?
So I do have a website. You know, it's funny how some businesses, they're in business, but there's no website.
That's true.
You know, so if you don't have a website, like I said earlier, Bill Gates said it eloquently, you will be out of business. Mm-hmm. It's like your storefront. So my storefront is HRichnetworks.com. You can reach me there. If you need to make an appointment, everything is right there on the front page to click, and, you know, you're able to reach me at HRichnetworks. That's HRichnetworks.com.
Perfect. Helena, thank you so much for coming in today and talking to me. Love your style. Love getting to know you. And everyone that's watching, please make sure to reach out if you have a business and you need a website. Helena seems like a wonderful person to do business with. If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. We are BBB Central Virginia on YouTube. And if you're listening on Spotify, it's BBB Sharing. Thank you.